And so I detained the driver, having given me the box. Well, when I received the box, I opened it. It contained brand new 20,000 shilling notes, packed, of course, in 20 millions, wrapped with polythene paper, with a Bank of Uganda label on each bundle, showing the number of the numbers on each note in the bundle, the serial numbers.
Kanalo Dr. Kizza Besigye ngono munnabyabufuzi omutendeke era dokitaali omutendeke yejjusa olunaku lwe yatandikawo ekibiina kya FDC kubanga yatandika ekibiina kino nga kiri ku mulamwa ogw'ebyobufuzi. Agamba nti abaakisigalamu baadibaga kiri ne bakatagga. Kano Kizza Besigye agamba nti omu ku basinze okudibaga ekibiina kya FDC enguzi esukkiridde mu ggwanga Uganda ye baleetedde okudibaga ekibiina kino ye Ssaabawandiisi w'ekibiina Nandala Mafaabi be bakulembedde okudibaga ekibiina kino nga bali ensimbi za Museveni nga bajja okusaanyawo ekibiina kya FDC kye yatandika ku mulamwa gw'ebyobufuzi nti bakifudde ekyokukolamu ensimbi nga bazirya okulemesa emirimu gy'ekibiina kino okugenda mu maaso. Kanalo Kizza Besigye agamba nti embeera eno yonna evudde kubeera nti abaasigala mu kibiina kino tebalina mwoyo gwa ggwanga wabula baasigala okwenoonyeza ensimbi bo okwegaggawaza embuto zaabwe. Agamba nti bano baaweebwa ensimbi okulwanyisa ebibiina by'ebyobufuzi byonna ebimerukawo nga bizze okulwanyisa Yoweri Kaguta Museveni okumusiga okulula omujja mu buyinza bw'alemeddemu emyaka kati 38. Kizza Besigye agamba nti ku nsimbi ezaweebwa FDC okulwanyisa His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu naye ng'omuntu yaweebwako obukadde 300 ze bajja basibye mu kibookisi ne bakimuleetera mu maka ge mu budde obw'ekiro ssaawa 4. Wabula agamba nti mu kubuuza ennyo ensimbi zino ezimuweereddwa zaali za mulamwa ki. Nandala Mafaabi yamulimba n'amugamba nti yazimuwadde ng'omuntu kubanga zivudde mu bizinensi ze n'amuwaayo ng'akasiimo. Kizza Besigye naye alieko. Oluvannyuma lwa Besigye okunoonyereza ennyo yakizuula nti ensimbi zino za nguzi za kugulirira bantu kuva ku mulamwa gwa byabufuzi baleke okulwanirira omulamwa gwa bannayuganda gwe baliko ogw'okukyusakyusa obukulembeze mu ggwanga Uganda mu mirembe. Ne basalawo batandike okugulirira we balaba ab'amaanyi ne bateekebwamu ensimbi basobole okulwanyisa ebibiina by'ebyobufuzi ebimerukawo entakera. Ekitanudde Dr. Kizza Besigye okuvaayo okwogera ensonga zino kiddiridde okubeera nti yabadde omwogezi w'ekibiina kya FDC era nga munnankyukakyuka alemedde ku nsonga ng'ono omusajja aterya ntama ayogera amazima Ssemuju nganda okubeera nti yagobeddwa mu kibiina kya FDC oluvannyuma lw'okuba nti ye yagambye yasimbye essira ng'agamba tagenda kukkiriza basajja bakulu bano Nandala Mafaabi ne munne Amulyati abakulembera ekibiina tagenda kubakkiriza kudibaga kibiina kyabwe bakikwate bakiguze Museveni nga DP bwe yakola n'ekwasibwa mu mikono gya Museveni kati ng'olwaliro Museveni yagikontrolinga. N'agamba nti tagenda kukkiriza FDC ekontrolingibwe mwami Museveni kubanga awo egenda kuba evudde ku mulamwa ogwagisigazaawo okulwanirira bannayuganda abali obubi ate batandike kwenoonyeza byabwe bo basajja bakulu batandike okwerumaaluma. Bano bagenze okulaba nga Ssemuju nganda alemeddeko ng'alemedde ku nsonga asimbye amannyo n'agamba tagenda kukkiriza wabula agenda kulwanirira FDC. Ne bagamba ogenda tulemesa ettooke lyaffe kubanga babadde bafuna ensimbi okuva butereevu mu State House kati ate balaba nti Ssemuju nganda bw'azirinnyamu kijja kuba tekibakola bulungi. Bwe batyo basazeewo ne bamukwata ku nkoona era bwe njogerera bino Ssemuju nganda tannasalawo kibiina ki eky'ebyobufuzi kyagenda okuddamu. Kino kyekitanudde Besigye n'agamba kayogere ebyama ebiri mu FDC osanga n'abalala bwe banaakiwulira banaatandika okwekengera abantu abo abakulembera ekibiina kyabwe.
Fair to give details of one of the things that has been focused on regarding this dirty money, and that is that 300 million that the Honorable Nandala gave me. First, the Honorable Nandala has been telling a lie to say that he told me it was meant for agents, polling agents in that election. Clearly, if he had said it was party money meant for agents, I would have provided the obvious solution that it should be placed on the party account. Because whereas him as a person would fear, and he told me the reason he was giving me the money was that he feared revenue authority, that revenue authority was demanding money from his companies, and that if he placed cash, that if he had cash on his accounts, revenue authority would pounce on it, and that it would be difficult to recover it. And I know that is for sure happening with the revenue authority. There is the law they passed called that gives powers of garnish, where the tax body, if you owe it tax, they can confiscate money that is on your account and pay themselves the tax. And if you have any queries, you go to the tax tribunal. And people who have suffered that injustice from revenue authority, once they go to the tax tribunal and they show that they did not owe revenue authority does not return the money even then. They say, okay, sorry, we now have we know that you don't owe us, so we shall keep on deducting this from your future. From your future obligations. So revenue authority is actually a thief. Because that is really stealing. And this is going on widely. And that's why I had sympathy with the Honorable Nandala when he told me that he had tax issues with the revenue authority, and that's why he was keeping cash out of the bank. But if he had clearly told me that this is money for agents, the party has no tax issues. So the money would have gone to the party account. If the only issues the party can have with the revenue authority is maybe payee, if they have not remitted their payee to the revenue authority, which certainly would be even then a totally different matter. So it's a lie that money was extended to me to keep for party agents. In any case, this was September. The election was going to be in, was it January or February? January. So why would why have to keep money for that long for agents? So that is the first untruth. Having given me that money, as I have pointed out previously in other communications, it was about 2 weeks later that I got specific information of the dirty money. And but maybe before I get to the information, I told the Honorable Nandala that my home was obviously not secure, because my home is always being surrounded and sometimes searched. So I told him I can't keep it myself, I would keep it somewhere, which I also discussed with him that could be safe. And my first concern came with the arrival of the money, because the money arrived at my home at 10 p.m. He rang me, he had told me he would send the money. We met here actually when he told me it was about 8 in the morning. But the money arrived at about 10 p.m. And he rang me saying that the other thing I talked about is about to arrive. And I said, I said, but Nathan, where is it passing? Because this is curfew time. There was curfew then. And people were not allowed to move. And those who were allowed to move certainly would even risk to carry such money in the curfew time. But he said, don't worry, it's about to arrive. And indeed, before long, somebody was hooting at my gate. I opened, and it was his driver alone. He was one man in the car, and he told me, here is what was given to me to deliver to you. It was a big box. Now, because of the worry I got of that money arriving in curfew time, I thought very quickly, because I thought this may cause me problems. Because if it comes and some people know that money has come here, and I have no way of getting it out, so I can be found with this money and maybe it has issues. So I thought quickly and got one of my helpful neighbors to accept to keep something for me he wouldn't know. And so I detained the driver, having given me the box. Well, when I received the box, I opened it. It contained brand new 20,000 shilling notes, packed, of course, in 20 millions, wrapped with polythene paper, with a Bank of Uganda label on each bundle, showing the number of the numbers on each note in the bundle, the serial numbers. And that too got me a bit unsettled, but I anyway transferred this money out of my home before I released the driver to go away. And it was then 2 weeks later that the information about that money got to me. The first information, I got 2 pieces of information. The first piece of information got to me. And shortly thereafter, I think within the week, I got the second piece of information. And in the second piece of information, I got slightly more details about some people to whom some of that money was given. One of whom was the party president, the Honorable Boy, whom it was said had received 280 million. And so I thought it was helpful to begin with that one and see whether it was indeed true or not that he received money. And so I called the Honorable Amuriat, and we met, and I asked him, did you receive money from the Honorable Nandala? And he said yes. I said, how much? He said 280 million. Did he tell you where it came from? Said no, but in a NEC, we had passed a resolution that we should borrow money. So I assume that this is part of what was borrowed. And I said, okay, if it was borrowed, would you know how much? He said, no, I'm not even sure that it was borrowed, so I don't know how much. I just got this money. I said, so what are you doing with it? And he said, well, at that time, he was moving around the country with the Honorable Waswa Birigwa in the primary campaigns for the flag of the party. So he said, I am using part of it in that process, in the movement around the country, and that they had also agreed that while they are moving around, he should identify candidates and maybe help some of them who needed some help.